Hi, welcome back to Art by Wendy Studio. My name is Wendy Mould. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw on woodblocks or cradles and create some interesting pictures of nature. Okay, to get started, you need a woodblock. And these are 4 by 4 wood blocks, 1.5 inches wide. And I like them because they can stand up or you can hang them on the wall. You could make little groups of them. They're kind of neat. For pens, I used the Pigma pens, and I found for this size block, a 5, a 3, and a 2, 02, 02, 03, and 05, gave me a nice size for working with. Of course, you need a pencil, and my trusty little eraser for doing those fine tip parts, and of course a putty eraser. So those are the materials I started with. I did a sketch of something I wanted to do. These were a couple of Canadian geese that were coming out of the bush. We were kayaking, and you know, Max was with me, got all excited when he saw the geese and fell out of the kayak. So I didn't get very many pictures of them. But at any rate, I got one picture of them coming out, which was kind of neat. So I used that to do this drawing. And I thought this would make a neat drawing to fit on a 4-inch block. So the first thing I had to do was draw my geese, because actually the grass is not hard to draw at all. You can play that by ear. So I did the geese first. I drew them first on tracing paper, rather than drawing them right on the block, because then you're doing a lot of erasing on here, and I don't like to wreck the surface. So I drew my geese in their position, how I was going to do them. Once I did them in pencil here, I turned it over and did pencil on top of this. And that way, when I go to do this on my wood block, you can transfer it. So I'll just show you what that is. So here's the good side. So I'll just put good here so you can see. I turn it over. And now, for example, if I take and just trace this on the wrong side, and notice good is backwards. And now when I turn this over and trace it and press on this again, this acts like a transfer paper. And as you can see, there's my grass, which I can just fix up if it's not all there. So that's how I transfer my picture onto my wood block. So once I get the transfer done, then I'm ready to draw. And here's a wood block here that I've already started with my 2 geese. And as you can see, I've just improvised for what I was going to do with the grasses. And now I've got one, the female is all done, and now I'm going to do the male as he's coming out. So let's stop, and I'll just show you some of the techniques that I use when I'm drawing. Before I start drawing, I forgot to mention that I have a little wrist rest. And this is a bar of wood, piece of wood that's almost the same size as the block. And this gives me something to rest my hand on as I am drawing the block, because of course there's not a lot of room here for you to rest your hands. So just a side note, you can use another block for the same thing, although I tend not to, because I don't want to mark those blocks up in any way. I want to keep them nice for the drawings. Okay, so we'll get started on that final goose there. So here are my geese in the marsh. I've pretty well finished the drawing now, and basically what I'm going to do is study it for a little bit, see if I want to add anything else to the shrubbery here. I might want to play with the very top of his head a little bit more. To me it's a little bit too flat, just looking at the fellow right here. So I'll study it a bit more. But in the meantime, I need to show you how to finish your little wood drawings in order to protect them so they don't get damaged. Now the first thing I do is I put a little bit of workable fix-it-off on them. Just a light coat to make sure that that ink is, permanent ink doesn't move. Even though it says it's permanent, I found that, you know, it might move slightly. So I just give this a light spray. And once that's dry, and I usually leave it for at least a couple of hours, I put 2 coats of this glazing liquid on it, using one of these little brushes like that. Now the first coat I put on very, very carefully. Just lightly cover it and let it dry. Let the whole thing dry. And by dry, I don't mean just like 10 minutes. At least half a day. Sometimes I just do like 1 coat one day and then do the next coat the next day. So I do 2 coats. And then once those 2 are both dry, then I put some a finish, the matte finish. And this is a pouring medium. And I used the gloss because I wanted to have it a nice shiny wood finish when it was done. And so again, 2 coats of this and a 1 day in between letting them dry. And also at the same time, and I forgot to pull that out, I also use a sandpaper. So just a minute, I'll show you that. Here you are. Here's, it's the purple one, and it's paint and varnish. And this is a very, very fine grade, 320. And so you can see it's just very, very fine, and it just takes the bumps off that first layer of urethane before you put the next layer on. So that's how I finish my little guys. So there's my little black-tailed deer again, and here's my geese in the marsh. So I'm really looking forward to getting them finished. I like the way that the wood grains sort of just hints of it here in the sky. And yeah, they're lots of fun. And if you want to make your own little wood buddies, that's how you do it. And if not, you're welcome to get some from me. Anyway, you have a great day and have fun with your little wood blocks. Talk to you soon. Wendy teaches outdoor sketching classes in the summer, and she teaches in her studio and online throughout the year. Wendy produces original work in pencil and in watercolor. She completes commission work, particularly pet portraits, and produces cards and prints from some of her work.